we have my all-wheel drive Honda on a trailer. Now you might be wondering, why is it on a trailer? Are we finally tuning the car after 2 years of building? And it's best if I just show you guys. If you guys couldn't hear it, that is the sound of money, heartbreak, misery. We raw knocked it. Well, good day maybe turned bad. Well guys, today is the day. We are finally building and assembling my sleeved K20 for my all-wheel drive Honda. Now before I go into more of what happened, let's go ahead and get the Honda pulled off the trailer and brought back into my shop, where it's gonna live for the next however long. Sounds like my truck's rod knocking too. Now I'm gonna make jokes about this because I mean this is the nature of the game. This is a drag car. This is a very high horsepower car. It happens, it just sucks so much. As you guys know, I've been building this car for the past 2 years. So much money and time invested into this. I mean, this is a 6-figure build. I have over 1,000 hours into building it, and I blew it up before I could even show you guys. Now, story time. What happened with this car? The last time you guys saw it, we took all of my cars to a car meet and had a fun time. Of course, we still had so many small issues with this car, as a fresh build does. I off camera got all of that addressed, and yesterday night I went over to my buddy Brian, the person that is doing all of the tuning on this car. And just to be nice, and it's very hard to film this car, we're just driving, doing a ton of baseline stuff, setting up just all the basic fueling and whatnot. It's kind of boring to film. So I had plans of making this great big YouTube video when we get this car on the dyno and some power hits. Yesterday went phenomenal. We started getting into boost, 7 pounds, 15 pounds, 20, 25, 30 pounds we hit in this last night. Of course, I was not recording any of that. The car feels amazing. It is fast. And unfortunately, when I started picking up the camera for the last pull on the way home, I revved it up because it is a dog box transmission. You kind of have to rev it to get it into gear, as there is no synchros. You kind of have to play with it a little bit. I noticed a knock sound. Now that noise is not unfamiliar with me. I've blown up many engines in my time with high horsepower cars. This car rattles so much. It is genuinely such a pain to drive because you can't hear anything, whatever. Revved up to put into gear and I heard it knocking, and that leaves us till now. It looks like we spun a rod bearing. Now, this was my first engine I ever blueprinted and assembled by myself. Now, I measured everything extraordinarily thoroughly, used different measuring tools to make sure I was getting the same numbers. I'm curious to see what happened, and in this episode today, we're getting this completely torn apart and to find out what I messed up on. So first things first, let's go ahead and get this car up in the air, drain the oil, and see what wonders we have in store for us in the pan. Now the nice thing is when I built this whole car, I built everything to be worked on as easy as possible. So like my hood, that's all I have to do. And now I have an open engine bay. But now since I'm a peasant and I don't have my lift installed in my shop yet, let's go ahead and get this car up in the air on my very nice quick jacks. Oh yeah. Glitter bomb went off in here. Let's wait for this to fully drain out and we'll pull it back out. Now, while the oil is draining out, perfect timing, here we go. Jesse over from Trax Brax has a special delivery for me. Unfortunately, I cannot use this purchase for a little bit of time now. This is my very expensive, very good quality 1-ethanol R, the fuel that we are gonna be using in the Honda. Kind of maybe a day too late. We were just tuning on some regular pumpy 85, but when we go to actually start racing and turn it up on the dyno, this is gonna be the stuff we're using.
What's up, buddy?
You know, just starting to work on the Honda.
God,
I just pulled the plug of the oil. Glitter bomb went off.
Glitter bomb?
Yeah, it's a glitter bomb in there.
That's what my first motor, the number 7 piston, went to, like literally the biggest size with my pinky nail.
You know what pisses me off?
Yeah.
I've blown up, I don't know, 7 engines probably now. I have yet to have a cool blow up. I've yet to like send a rod out to the atmosphere,
Right.
which is way more expensive, which sucks, but at least it's cool. At least like, you know, you window the block or something. No, every single time I just rod knock. Now the next challenge, I have 2 barrels of this 1R. We wanna figure out how to get this unloaded. I believe each barrel weighs roughly 450 pounds, maybe more. Very, very heavy barrels, so we gotta go ahead and figure out a way to get this into my shop, and then later today, find a good spot for it. Actually, I'm gonna make a whole YouTube video on this. It's gonna be fun, not like my normal videos, but I'm gonna build a gas station in my shop. It's gonna be fun, but we gotta figure out how to get these out of his truck. You're strong, you can lift it.
Yeah, right.
The carbon leg splits.
Taking down some heavy women in my time, but not
Oh
that.
my, oh. Now let's see what this looks like. Now just visually staring at it, not too bad. It's settled a little bit. Oh, that'd be a gorgeous paint color. Not so much oil. Wow. Not too bad. Obviously we'll be able to tell when we get the filter opened up. There's not any like big chunks. I'm really curious to see what these bearings look like. Let's go ahead and just start tearing apart this car. Thankfully, everything on here, like I mentioned, is built to be worked on. There's just a lot crammed in here. So we can go ahead and actually pull off the whole front clip and start probably with the intake manifold charge piping, get the turbo kit off, get everything unplugged, get the engine harness out of here, and get this motor dropped out so we can start tearing it apart, see how these bearings look. Now time for this $6,000 intake manifold setup to come off. Ooh. Also, pro tip to any of you guys who may be building a car of your own. If you guys can relate, which I'm sure most of you guys can, sometimes getting these exhaust studs and bolts off are a huge pain because they corrode over time and they like to strip out when you remove them. Get yourself a set of titanium studs and nuts. It is flawless, removes easy every single time. It doesn't corrode and rust. And if you guys have a Honda and Subaru and some other chassis as well, check out my boy Vivid TI. He got me a set for my car and it's been fantastic. Removing this intake manifold has never been easier. Also, yes, I just realized I said exhaust studs. It works for either. He makes the intake manifold or exhaust. Exhaust is the one that tends to corrode and rust a lot quicker, but he makes bolts for everything. But now the front of our engine is now a little bit exposed. Now we can go ahead and remove all of our accessories and show you guys what's really cool about my custom engine harness I made. If you guys remember, I spent a god-awful amount of time building this engine harness. My first electrical harness I ever built myself. We have some quick releases on our firewall, so in a couple seconds, we can just go ahead and pop out this whole harness. And then make our way onto getting all our accessories, our electric water pump, our alternator, that bracket removed, our starter out, all of the front facing, and then our turbo kit. And that's really about it, a few other lines and whatnot. And we can drop this motor out of here. Now watch this. Quick little turn of our bulkhead. I should probably remove these lines first. Now take 2, quick little turn of our engine harness. There we go. 1 removed, and our second bulkhead removed. Now we can get this engine harness pulled out of here. And just like that, our engine harness is out. so weird seeing this car without the front end again, but that's also nice. Race car, I can just remove the whole front clip. Might as well just get this out of here as well. And now it's time to get the Big Daddy out of here. And there we go. Table full of all of the goodies taking part in this car. This turbo is incredibly heavy. I don't think it's quite as heavy as my old 17 STI turbo, my 8085. I believe that weighed about 40, 45 pounds. I'm curious, let's go ahead and weigh this. My guess, it's gotta be at least 25 pounds. Let's see if this turbo can register on the scale. 31 pounds. That is crazy. It's a big turbo, 31 pounds. If I put a smaller turbo on, I'd get more weight savings. But this is how much I've tried to clean up the engine bay. All of our airlines are quick disconnects, so it makes removing all of these hoses incredibly easy. And then under my cowl from Soul Creations, really sick piece. This is where I have a ton of my solenoids. So we have my boost controller, my 4-port Mac boost controller, my wideband wiring is all up here, my nitrous solenoids, all of the things I can put up here. I did to keep it out of the engine bay, keep it a little bit more clean. Plus, a lot of these wires can stay nice in here. And then my reference to my turbo goes actually under this fender, comes out here and connects to the turbo. And just nice way of cleaning up this engine bay. So maybe when we have the car apart, I can finish up plumbing the nitrous. I have yet to do so just because I'm not using nitrous right away. But these two bottles aren't just gonna be little princesses. I do wanna use it, most definitely wanna purge it because it looks way cool. But there's some small things that we can get finished up while we wait for all the machine work with our new engine. And now we can take off our ginormous exhaust, our 4-inch. All right, we are nearing completion with getting this engine out. My first time completely tearing apart my car, so that's a little plus. I gotta learn how to take it apart. Honestly, it's very easy. The way I built this car, it comes apart quite nice. It was a little slower because I'm inspecting every little piece, every leak, just to know when I put this car back together, what needs Loctite, what needs more sealant, all of that stuff, because this car is legitimately 100% solid mounted everywhere. There's no bushings, it's all billet solid. As you guys have heard in previous videos, it rattles like crazy. Everything comes loose on here, causes oil leaks, whatever it may be. So putting it back together, I can do a better job this time, clean it up a little bit too, because I have had past oil leaks. It drives me crazy seeing stuff like this on my trans. So we can get all of that cleaned up again and just take it as a learning lesson. It sucks because I hate spending money on dumb things, but that's also the cost of learning and playing the game. Now we are ready to just get the engine hoist hooked up. I do need to disconnect the drive shaft, get it hooked up to our cherry picker, drop this down. Also, since I don't have a front end, or I should say a removable front end, I can now pull the engine out this way, which is really, really nice because these quick jacks are not high enough to lift the car enough to pull the engine out. But with a removable front end, I can just pull it out this way. They're hooked up. All right, we now have tension against the engine and transmission, so now we need to go ahead and get all of our mounts removed. We have one in the rear, already got rid of the front one, each side, and slowly lower this down onto my wooden cart. Hopefully it doesn't break.
Yay.
Ta-da! Now, we gotta go ahead and get the transmission separated, get this engine on a stand.
Oh.
All right, let's get this on the stand. And well, we got on the stand, let's go ahead, lower it down. And now, we begin the fun stuff of tearing it down. All right, while we wait for the ATI removal tool to come in so we can get all of this torn apart, we're gonna go ahead, pop off the oil pan, see what we see in there. Subaru. See what we see in the pan, maybe pop off our rod caps as well. See what we're dealing with. Oh. Oh man. That's so bad.
Buddy.
going on here, Remmy?
I don't know. Look at, dude, that's like bad. Oh, I knew it was gonna be number 2. Oh, there's all the bearing material down there. All right, a lot's happened in the last couple minutes. Let me bring you guys up to speed. So while I'm waiting for the ATI pulley remover to show up, which it just did, I went through, pulled the pan, the baffle, and removed 2 of the rod caps I was able to access. Now we found which cylinder our issue is. As you guys can see, our rod cap right here is a rainbow. That, if you guys don't know what this means, this rod saw some very, very excessive heat, which is not good. And if we take a look at our bearings, these are completely smoked. Every other bearing and rod cap, the bearings have no wear, or very minimal wear, very normal wear. Rod caps look fine. The only other thought is I've been driving the car on the primary injectors. Yesterday when we went into boost, we then kicked on our secondaries. It all clicked and tested. So the thought was maybe a secondary on my cylinder 2 did not go on, causing it to go lean, very hot, and kick out a rod. Except when we looked at all the plugs, every single one of these is the exact same, and if it got hot, we'd be able to tell on the plug. So now we're back to square one. My boy Justin's back. Oh my God, Isaac, I know your name, I'm sorry. They're here, we're gonna tear this apart and see how the piston looks on cylinder 2 and try to figure out what exactly happened. I have the valve cover off, took a quick look. Cam journals, everything looks fine. Now honestly, best case scenario, keeping the energy high. We tear this apart, look at pistons, check all of that. The crank also looks fine. We might be able to roll some bearings in here. We need a new rod, but yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful the damage isn't that bad. I'm happy that the valve train, I knew wasn't gonna have any damage. It looks brand new still. So we're gonna go ahead, get timing off, get all of the fancy drag cartel stuff removed, and then make our way on to getting our head off. There we go, just got all of the nuts removed for our head studs. Let's go ahead, pull this off, and see if we see any immediate indicators on top of our pistons. If they're melted is what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and pop this off. What the fuck? Dude, we're missing something. It's like 100%. Right here. Oh my God. Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way this isn't coming out right now. Now it comes out easy, there we go. Huh. Well, kind of not what I wanted to see. Pistons are fine. I hate not knowing what happened, but we're gonna go ahead, flip this around, pop off the caps, tap out the pistons. I don't know what happened. We can check, because I only checked cylinder 3. This bearing was perfect. I have a feeling cylinder 4 and 1 are also gonna be perfect, but maybe we pull it apart and those bearings are hammered and we just got lucky with cylinder 3 and that explains things more. But let's go ahead, flip this around and get this apart. Nothing weird on the skirts. Did these these don't look like they ever had a coating. Piston skirts are perfect. At least on cylinder 3, I should say. Something tolerance-wise, I guess we'll know when you pop this out. This is actually like driving me crazy. I know a lot of you guys can probably relate to when something happens and you can't figure out why it happened or what happened. It's the worst feeling. Crank looks, yeah, it's salvageable. Do you want to put your fingers against this? I can't feel the gloves. Does it get caught? No. That's good. We'll drop this off at the machine shop, have them make sure everything's good, and we might be able to roll some new bearings in here. I honestly hope that these bearings are, messed up. So if these are bad, I know it was my issue and a clearance fault. If these are fine, there's no way it was a clearance issue. And I'm back to square zero. Boom. Let's see how this bearing looks. Interesting. All right. Last one to pop out. Now this might not make sense to you guys if you guys have never built an engine or blueprinted before. But I'll run it down how I know I don't think I messed up the clearances. So the first thing you do when assembling an engine is to measure out your crank. It's called miking it out. And you're measuring the distance between both ends essentially. Now the crank measured out damn near perfect on every single journal. That is how I get my measurements to know what size bearings to put in for the rods. Now, even if I did not measure cylinder 2, I am using the same split case of rods, bearings for every other cylinder. And if there's a clearance issue, I would see bearing carnage on all other cylinders. So clearances don't make sense. My clearances were a little bit looser than most people are comfortable with, but not to do that. Pull it with it.
So just get the seal.
Crank looks fine. It's a little heated on cylinder 2. And here we go, boys. Our mainline bearings looks like they were just installed. Good sign. I mean, I'm gonna still get it machined, make sure it didn't warp for any reason, but the bearings look fine. I don't see any reason we can't reuse this very expensive sleeved block. I mean, yeah, just throw a new set of bearings in. Oh, what went wrong? And here we have it, a little past midnight. I completed my goal of getting this car completely torn apart. We have all of the engine stuff on the back table there. This lev rack system is so handy. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'll pick up with you guys in the morning. And here we are the next day after our full teardown of my brand new, my fresh build, my 1,000 horsepower all-wheel drive Honda build. And I didn't find anything new. Now, the biggest thing when it comes to building cars, at least for me, is if there's a failure, I like to understand what the failure is. Don't repeat the same mistakes, build on and just keep moving forward. And unfortunately, after many calls to many people in this industry trying to figure out what went wrong, there's not really a good answer. Clearances, yes, doesn't quite make sense because all the other bearings are fine and the clearances were the same across the board. Same bearings used, I didn't have to mismatch and whatever to get every journal perfect. I don't know what the issue is. It's an unknown. No detonation, pistons and spark plugs are perfect. There's no weird signs, but 100% is not a tuning issue. I don't know if I prefaced that in this video, but was not a tuning issue whatsoever. It's just unfortunately a failure inside of the engine. Whether maybe I got a bad set of bearings, where the bearings weren't perfectly round, maybe the rod wasn't perfectly round, because that is the only thing I messed up on and did not verify is to check roundness on all the rods. Now I assume they're brand new, they should be. That is a possibility. It's just a lot of unknowns and it really, really sucks that I don't know what the issue is and I just have to spend a ton of money to fix this issue. Now don't worry, the Honda is not gonna be down too long. I mean, right now it's a waiting game of machine shop, how backed up they are, because right now they are backed up like crazy, getting new parts in because our crank may be salvageable, but frankly, if it's not 100% perfect, it's not a game I wanna play. This is a very high horsepower car, and I'm actually increasing my horsepower goals again. I'm gonna go ahead, Firelock O-ring this block so we can throw some more boost at it. Maybe even upgrade these rods. They're very, very, very strong rods. I think they're like 350 per hole. Only thing we can do is build up from here. It just sucks so much. And the worst part is I didn't even get on video of it blowing up. I mean, the intro of this video was the car already blown up, which sucks as something that is my full-time job. I didn't even capture the moment this blew up because truthfully, we were not intending to get into boost, and then the car was just reacting so good. We're testing boost controller. Okay, throw more boost at it, more boost, and it started a party. Like mentioned, we were on 32 pounds or 33 pounds of boost. If you guys aren't familiar with these types of cars, 33 pounds on here is a lot. That's approaching the 1,000 wheel territory, and we weren't even close to being done. So we have a lot in store for the Honda. Cannot wait to bring you guys along. Lesson learned, anytime this car is running, camera's gonna be recording to capture everything. But the good news is, so much of our tuning is already done. Obviously, when we get the new engine in, make a few adjustments, make sure it's good, but we have a very, very good baseline, so we can jump straight back into tuning and get this car to dyno very, very, very quick. I'm trying to have this car put back together in a month. We'll see what happens, ideally quicker than that. I just don't know how long it's gonna take to get machine shop stuff done, new parts back in. I'm also leaving out of the country again for a week. So this video might be a little postponed. Currently, it might be a week and a half from now of filming till you guys see this video, just so I have a video to post while I'm gone. This sucks. But you can see on my exhaust manifold and my downpipe and wastegate, we're introducing some heat. The manifold looks gorgeous. I do have a billet collector. This frankly kind of looks a little bit disgusting in my opinion, but the car is seeing some heat. It was shooting some flames out of the hood. This is gonna be such a rowdy car. But while it's down, we're gonna get nitrous hooked up, all of the rolling anti-lag wired up. strain gauge, so many miscellaneous things buttoned up. So when we get this car back together, we're on the streets ripping. But the one last thing I need to do before we can wrap up today's video, get our whole suspension stuff bolted back together, get the wheels on, that way we can get this car off and move it around when we continue back tomorrow, getting all the McLaren bodywork finished up, get that painted. We have so much fun stuff in store. It's just the nature of the game. Things like this, they unfortunately happen. But if you guys have made it this far into the video, do your boy a favor, make sure to subscribe, drop a like. I got some bills, unfortunate bills, unexpected bills I gotta pay now to get this car put back together. And drop a comment on how excited you guys are. I mean, it's been damn near 2 years of building this car just to get blue balled, have it blow off on me. And yeah, don't worry, very, very soon we're gonna have this car back on the road, but let's go ahead, get the rest of this car buttoned up. Now, another thing I need to order while the car is down is my tire and wheel setup, because surprisingly enough, these weren't that bad on the street when we were tuning. Skating around a little bit, but I do need to get a proper bead lock and slick for the street and the track. So another thing to add while the car is down. But before we are done with this episode, I need to go ahead, put the body panels back on the front bumper and the hood. So every time I look at this car, I'm not reminded that it's blown up, just sitting so empty. Plus, it's gonna clear up some space in the shop when we pull all of the McLaren stuff back over here. Ooh, that might pose a problem with there being no front core support. Damn, okay, we can't put the bumper back on. Didn't think about that. But the hood, we can. Ha-ha. Perfect. But now we say goodbye to the Honda for the next unforeseeable future. And the next time you guys see this, it's gonna be back up and running on the streets, making some power. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I sure did not, because this is a very crappy video to make, but there we go. I like to show you guys everything that happens, the good and the bad, and unfortunately, today's episode is a little bit of the bad, but I hope you guys still enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.